Welcome to Jerez, the Circuito de Jerez. Angel Nieto, named after the famous motorcycle racer, here for the penultimate race of the 2024 Super Trofeo North America. The track was wet this morning. It's a little wet offline. It's starting to riot. My name is Bruce Jones, alongside Welcome Baptiste Moulin, looking down at the track here. We saw in that first race very tricky conditions, but for the North American Series racers, a little easier. At least they will definitely be starting on slick tyres.
Exactly, the choice of the tires will be really important for the start. And if there is the opportunity to enter the race and to change the tires during the race, it will have to be at the right moment.
Well, that right moment, well, for the race at least, there is the Urus pulling off. That's the pace car taking them around. Packed field of cars coming out to play, 25 in all. And it's Danny Formal who's leading around this final corner. For them, the track will be less greasy than it was for the Asian Series that went off first this morning. It looks fully dry, go on the curb, it's a bit wet. But is it going to be Formal from the pit wall side, car number 101, or Nico Jamin going up the inside, being pushed across a little into the first corner? It's a very tight first corner here, Baptiste, but they can see it's slightly damp on the inside. Oh, Formal runs a little bit wide, so it looks like Nico Jamin is going to take the lead down into turn two. It's so narrow.
Nice move from that driver at the start.
We've got everybody through the field, someone at the back just being a little bit cautious, but you can see the drivers working hard. They couldn't have done that in the first race. Nico Jamin, the French racer, has moved to the front of the field, but he's now looking for grip because it's a lot of the races in America run on fairly hot tracks. It was only before the track temperature is only 18 degrees, it's only gone up 2 degrees, so still looking for grip on this outlap.
Exactly, and really important to keep the tires hot for the whole race.
Okay, a bit of pushing and shoving as they came out of turn 5. That's the corner that feeds the cars onto the long back straight, the longest straight, and the battle for third place is very, very tight indeed. 104 hangs on the outside. That's Nico Jamin. So he led the race, then he's fallen back, and now he's had his mirror knocked wide and his car pushed off the track. So it's all changed at the front. So it looks like Danny Formal has got back at the lead. Loris Cabarrus should be in the mix as well. Gianno Torino as well in that mix, car 188, that's Torino. Now he's back, well, he's listed as fourth place, but he's actually third because that was the previous corner that he was fourth, but pressing on that orange car in third place. But you can see the drivers are still just trying to find a little bit of a grip. But then at this point, we're coming out of turn 7, 8, it gets quite technical. It's very tight and twisty at this point.
Yeah, it's a quite technical track, but also with high-speed corner. They are really fighting long race ahead, but already fighting for a good position.
Fighting like it's the last lap, Baptiste, I'd suggest. Exactly. There. That was into the turns 11, 12 and 13. Very, very tight. Not the natural flow of the circuit, but, well, I won't judge what the stewards might say about some of that, but some of those moves might be looked at. But a car making good ground is 166. That's Joel Miller. He's in fourth place there. He's the leading Pro-Am runner. And Gianno Torino in the bright orange car getting a very good exit. Looks like he's going to strip past Danny Formal up to turn 1. They go, but Formal in the red car is on the inside. There's not much of an outside, but, well, that is very impressive for Torino. He's just hung it out there and he's stayed. Could have been a bit risky, but he had to take that chance, and he has done that. But our race leader, Loris Cabarrus, 0.7 of a second clear, and now looks like he's maybe just starting to open it out. The corner just behind our commentary box, turn 4 turns into 4-5. They sweep through there, and again it looks quite wide, but if you go over those curbs they drop down into a gravel trap, so the drivers have to know their car isn't too wide. Here's our Pro-Am leader, car number 166, Joel Miller. Now let's take a look. This is the moment. There was contact on the side of Loris Cabarrus, so he was sort of helped in the gravel, into the gravel there at turn 11 coming into turn 12 for Ansa Motorsport, and gravel isn't any driver's friend, but they left some in the track there. Now, just going to run you down through the class. Pro leader is Loris Cabarrus at the head of the field. Pro-Am leader is in fourth place. That's Joel Miller. We had a sighting of his green car just to the background of the shot there. Fourth in the line. The leading car in the Am class is car number 148, which is David Starb, and he's running quite nicely, actually very nicely, up in 8th place overall, just ahead of Luke Barkley. Right, what's happening out on the field? There's 128. Working its way around the field, and leading car in is Nick Grote in the Lamborghini Cup class in 23rd overall. 25 cars going around the track, and some very, very tight racing there. Vying for position, that's Dominic Starkweather, 147, that's the blue car. And he's just behind Alberto Clemente Pisani, a driver who normally races in the Italian GT Championship, but having a try here. In fact, that combination in car 172. The bright green are going to race in the European Series here as well. So they have lots of track time, and then of course they'll be aiming for the World Finals. And it will give them quite an advantage, won't it, Baptiste, to do two races each of the days here?
Exactly, it gives a lot of advantage, much more track time, much more opportunity to practice, double quali. It helps a lot.
Certainly does. And the drivers got quite a lot of practice time yesterday. Some of them, their qualifying was this morning, some was yesterday evening. It was the European cars that went out in qualifying this morning on the wet track. But certainly people have been pushing very hard, and for a lot of the drivers from North America and Asia in particular, it's their first time to Jerez, and it's a circuit you do need to get to know.
Exactly. For people from Europe, it's sometimes easier when the race is in Europe, of course, because they know the track already. A bit more tricky for the American and other nationality.
Well, let's get... Marietta is very, very busy down in the pits. And she's going to have an interview any moment now. Danny Formont's teammate by the name of Ryan Norman.
Yes, I'm with Ryan Norman, who will be taking the Wayne Taylor Racing Pro Car out on track for the second stint. Ryan, it looks like it's going to be such a tight battle for the win today.
Yeah, as usual, but even more so today with the mixed conditions. I think we'll probably get away with not having any more rain here, so track's just going to get better and better. We went from first to third here, so I think it's just, you know, getting the tires up to temperature, and there'll be many opportunities to pass, so I'll get in a good car and hopefully we'll be up front.
You're sharing the car this year with a driver who's won the title twice. What are you learning this year from driving with Danny?
Yeah, it's always great getting with new teammates, learning how they drive and like the car. It helps you adapt and become a better driver yourself, but Danny's an unbelievable driver, especially in these cars. He has so much experience, so it's been an honor, and we'll hopefully close out the season strong.
Thank you.
Well, good, very interesting here. Yeah, Danny Formal, driver, unusual because he comes from Costa Rica. We don't have many Costa Rican drivers, but he's been outstanding on the North American scene. And just looking to see who's really pushing at the moment. Nico Germain is trying to recover ground that he lost. He's down in 6th place. Bear in mind, he fleetingly led the race between turns 1 and 2 in the opening lap. The car you want to look for him is car 104. There it is, the middle of that trio of cars, running a little bit wide, but he's looking at his next target. And his next target will be in car 141, which is Mark Miller, who's sharing with Paul Nemshoff, the Flying Lizard Motorsport car. But you've got to choose your moments around this circuit. You know, it's not easy. Now, eyes cool, calm. Nico Germain looking for the next corner on the circuit up ahead of him, down into the hairpin at turn number 6, the end of the longest straight.
Nice battle between those two.
It's a good battle. He hoped to get the move into the hairpin. It didn't happen. He's got to think, where is the next place? He's also got to be aware that, bear in mind, he got shoved wide very early on the opening lap, and he's playing catch-up. Our race leader, by the way, Loris Caparou, is escaping. He's 4.6 seconds clear of Gianno Torino. Now, this is Nico Germain pressing on for Ansa Motorsport. This is on board. He's in 6th place. Looking for 5th. Has his nose got far enough up the inside into turn 11 and 12? Over the curve, the tail comes around. Can he get the power down? No, he can't. Is he in danger of losing a position? Quite possibly, because tucked in behind and over the curves around the outside goes 129, and that's Elias de la Torre for TR3. But Nico Germain has lost the place. Elias de la Torre has gone through the yellow car with the black centre on it and the black flank. Baptiste, it's often just so difficult when you're trying to overtake someone in somewhere as tight as 11, 12, 13. If you end up a little bit wide, you can't get the power down, you've lost the place to someone in behind.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we see when the drivers are good. It's really important to exit the corner as fast as possible, of course.
Well, now, looking at 129 there, Elias de la Torre, he's quite happy taking very wide lines. If he was in the first race, he wouldn't, because that would have been very slippery. But he went a little bit wide out of the corner behind our commentary. That's turn 4. Now he can't get... Now he's been well flanked by Elias de la Torre, but I thought we were going to see the place go back to Nico Germain. But instead, he stays down in what is now 7th position. And he's suddenly got a lot of company in behind. Car 177's getting into the mix, which is Jake Walker, one of the drivers who's running solo. Up front, though, it continues to stretch. Loris Caballero leading by 6 and a bit seconds now. So he's pulling clear all the time from Gianni Torino, who's got 4 and a bit seconds over Danny Formal. Bear in mind, Formal started on pole position. We heard from his teammate a short while ago. But it's just not happening. Fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 51.9 seconds. The fastest lap in the first race eventually came down to 1 minute 53, but early on when it was greasy, it was a lot slower than that. Here at turns 11, 12 and 13, someone's had an adventure, running slowly, a bit of they've tapped their front bodywork. But for Loris Caballero, our race leader, through he comes and makes that neat and tidy. Second place, that's this third place, Danny Formal. Second place, the orange car just going through shot there, Gianni Torino.
Yeah, Loris, who is really extending his gap, always doing the fastest lap.
Yeah, he just went faster by another quarter of a second than his previous fastest lap. In behind, what's changing? Not too much at the moment. Fastest lap of the race, here he is. He's doing a great job. Loris Caballero, I thought I saw a little bit of bodywork coming loose, but maybe not. Possibly the front left bodywork has had a bit of a rub on that opening lap. Maybe that was the moment that we had Nico Germain going wide, but just above the front wheel. Maybe it's just a light on the car, but we are getting a bit more light. The day is brightening up, but for Answer Motorsport, they'd be delighted. 7.7 seconds clear. The race, 50 minutes, and the pit stops can come when our clock at the top of the screen says 30 down to 10. So the middle 10 minutes of this 50-minute race, and you'll be sure that Loris Caballero will stay out as long as he possibly can, because he's stretching his advantage all the time. And you know, why not? Leading the race, leading it comfortably. It means that his teammate Bryson Morris, young Bryson, will just have to wait a little bit longer, but it's about taking the points today. But they are down in 4th place in the championship, out of the championship reckoning, unless all their stars are in alignment. All they can do and try and win the race. That car with the damage 185 is still just 186. Jonathan Hirschberg still just limping in slowly, so very frustrating for him, but he's doing a good job of keeping out of the way, and that's not easy on a circuit as narrow as this. And when you're in a battle like this, you are losing time all the time. Some of these drivers, I reckon, could have the pace to start going after Loris, but they have to get out of the traffic. They are the traffic.
Of course, yeah, it's really important to take advantage on the driver or the cars in front of you as fast as possible to not lose the gap you have with the car in front.
And some of the circuits they race on, here's the car that's coming in. It is indeed Jonathan Hirschberg for US Racetronic with a little bit of frontal damage. Hopefully that can be fixed in time for him to go and at least race again tomorrow. He's in the Lamborghini Cup class, but who knows how that happened, but certainly very difficult for him there. So race out, driver out, he'll look at the front end damage, but there's no damage at all to our race leader. Here he is, Loris Caballero, really finding a good flow around this circuit. His fastest lap, he's almost, well, let's see how low he can go. He's done 3 fastest laps in the 1 minute 51 to 151.9, 151.6, 151.1. It's going one way. Yeah, but look, he's nearly 10 seconds clear. It's outstanding. Gianni Torino here is in the orange car. And Danny Formal, the Costa Rican racer, has just not quite managed to catch him. They're running at very similar pace.
Track is drying lap after lap as well.
Right, here's Formal. Multiple champion, double champion, riding the curbs through 11 and 12 and 13. You have to, it's such a tight, twisty part of the circuit. Illustrious teams in this championship as well. Wayne Taylor racing with Andretti. You know, not too much either of those names haven't won in sports car racing, and one-make racing like this around the world. The Lamborghini Super Trofeo is so popular, and 83 cars have come here to the World Finals, with a split between the Asian Series, 17 in that, the North American Series, and the bumper one is the European one. In fact, their races will be split. Now let's take a look. This is car 101, Danny Formal, taking the curbing almost to perfection, I would say, there at turns 11 and 12. That was turn 12. Well, let's go down to Marietta, who's got the driver who's retired, Jonathan Hirschberg.
Jonathan, very sorry about that early retirement. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was super frustrating. Yeah, those 2 first warm-up laps got me. Car was like on ice coming down the back straight, and I ended up hitting the wall and then the tires, and then thanks to the team we got going again. But every time I tried to, you know, put throttle in, the car was unstable. So I just figured it better to put it to rest. But at least the team got me going. The other guy was racing. He almost went off in the second lap too. So it's super slick out there, and yeah, these drivers doing a great job, and the team did a great job to at least get me to start. So we'll see how the race ends up.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. So really unfortunate there for Jonathan Hirschberg. We didn't get to see some of that on their formation laps because the previous race was still going through its podium ceremony. But Baptiste, when you go out, you've seen the first race, you've seen the tracks being slippery, but you still can't quite imagine it until you're the driver in the car.
Yeah, of course, as you said, and as a driver as well, it's really important on the out lap. You try to understand where is the grip, there are no grip on the track. It's really important on this out lap to be really focused already. Even if it's your first lap, you need to send everything directly. Yeah,
and then as we heard from Jonathan Hirschberg there, that he brought the car back to the pits, having damaged a little bit. They sort of taped it up as well as they could, put it back out, but clearly something wasn't right, and he decided, you know what? I've got another race tomorrow. Anyhow, we've certainly got a race right now because it's this has been the best battle of the field. This is Mark Miller, 141, but the driver coming through is Elias de la Tour, and he's just done it. 129 has made the move, and it looks so Nico Jamal, 104, is going to push his way through as well. Now, bear in mind that 141, Mark Miller's car, is in the prime class. He doesn't have to fight these other drivers, but his instinct is to fight the other drivers. You don't always know, you know, who's with me. Your team boss will be saying, but you're a driver. You go, no, I'm a driver.
Yeah, as a racing driver, it's sometimes hard to stay behind someone when you are able to overtake him. I understand he wants to fight, but he needs to think also about the points of the championship and the race.
Yeah, exactly. But you've also raced an Italian GT Championship, the GT World Challenge, which are multi-class as well. So you have that same thing. But it's just an element from your brain. You don't have to think about it. Your team boss has to tell you, but...
Exactly, yeah, you don't need to think, you just need to, as a driver, you just need to think where you put the 4 wheels of the car, just to keep it on the track, and normally the team is doing that job for you.
Yeah, best that way. Right, race leader. Oh, interesting. The last, well, we're now below 1 minute 51, but Gianno Torino in second place has picked up the pace. But oh, look, we've just got 10 seconds ago, 15 seconds ago to the pit window opening. It'll be open for 10 minutes. Now, some of the drivers in this field race solo. Their pit stop from pit in to pit out must be a minimum of 89 seconds. But if you're in a 2-driver lineup, your pit stop can be 3 seconds shorter. From pit in to pit out, 86 seconds. And in the first race, we had a couple of crews that I spotted coming in, going back out just too fast. So they pick up a time penalty. So, you know, a good crew, they would have practiced, they would have... Good thing is the pit stop minimum gives you enough time to get in and out of car. There's no danger of drivers going out not strapped in. Now, here we go. Nico Jamal, he's had his first stint. He got a bit frustrated there. Dropped down to 6th place, had fleetingly led the race, but now it's the turn of his Brazilian teammate Kiko Porto, who climbs aboard right now. So it's his turn to see if he can accelerate that back up the order. Sorry, Bryson Morris, I beg your pardon. Bryson, the young American racer, hopping on board there. Oh no, Kiko Porto, sorry, I looked at the next line down on the grid, so I was right to start with. Go with your instinct, but Kiko strapping in. There isn't a South American Championship, so he's been racing in the North American Championship, and of course gaining experience. Oh dear, there's been a shark in the field, so clearly someone has hit 188, given it a bit of a rub there. That was the TR3 entry, Gianno Torino. That was, of course, that was running right at the sharp end of the field, and got itself very nicely up into that second place. Again, the pit stops look neat and tidy. Some of the front runners, well, Danny Formal is now in the lead of the race because the cars in front of him have reported into the pits. Still plenty of time, and I would suggest if you've got your pro driver as your first driver, of which you've nominated of a pairing, leave them out as long as you can. But that's not always the case because a lot of teams want their pro driver going second. But again, messages all around the box. Just a chance to see a driver just checking the signal from his pit crew. Right now you can go. And of course they have to run at the 50 km/h pit lane speed limit until they cross the white line. That you can just see it, not the first white line, the second white line, and then, and only then, can they go faster than 50 km/h. This is quite a tight pit exit, but certainly not as bad as some. The one at Spa-Francorchamps is always very tricky, your home circuit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my garden. I live not far from this track. Of course, one of my favorite track, not only because I'm Belgian, but it's super nice track.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Right, let's go down because Marietta's caught Jano, who had such a good first race. Bit of a damage on the car, though.
Jano, talk us through your first stint. You were really going for it, and how is that car feeling? Is the car okay?
Yeah, so I wasn't expecting everything to happen that happened. The track is very slippery, very slippery. I wasn't expecting to have the pace. We had the pace, you know, the spot's super us to take the pass and go for it. The car feels very good, very balanced, and I know our fight isn't, you know, in the guy in front of us, it's the people behind us, so just took it easy. Now my teammate's gonna go for it. He has good tires. And then we just gotta see what happens.
It's a great battle for the win out there, because it's also a very interesting fight for the title.
It's interesting. I don't want to say too much yet, because my heart is still... My heart's still going really fast, but it's not over. And we still have to fight. And we still have tomorrow. So let's see.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, all smiles from Jano Torino there, but certain pressure. He came second in the championship in 2022, second in the championship last year, and will be desperate to see if he can nail it this year. But it's all in the hands. So 2022, 2023, second overall, but all in his hands. Came here leading the championship. Now his teammate Ernie Francis Jr. is out on board. Still cars coming into the pit lane to make their pit stop. Danny Formal coming in here. This was car 101, Lamborghini Palm Beach, that started from pole position. And his teammate Ryan Norman, we heard from him before, he was the one with the beard. He's climbing on board to see what he can do. And they came here third in the championship, equal on points, well, 1 point behind Kiko Porto and Nico Jamin. Took the point for pole position for this first race. Don't stop believing is a message on the side of the car, and that must be their mindset as they focus on what happens here today and the final round, the 12th and final race, the 6th round North American Super Trofeo Series, to see what they can do. But Ernie Francis, who's on board, and Jano Torino in the bright orange car, they came here with a points lead, and they just got to keep delivering. It's about consistency. 12 races across the championship, Baptiste. If you can be on the podium at all of them, you're going to have a chance of winning the title. But if you don't finish in one, that's so much damage.
Oh, yeah, it gives some damage if you're not finishing first or on every podium, of course, but you know, until the last corner you can still believe in it. So I think that's why he had this nice sentence on the car.
Yeah, well, let's see if it's a good sentence. It may happen today, may happen tomorrow. Right, dry track. It was damp this morning. It was certainly wet this morning. And a few cars went very well in the first part of the race. Elias de la Tour, he's doing the second part of the race, because this car from TR3, he's running on his own. His pit stop 3 seconds longer by going solo, but a driver who wasn't solo was Danny Formal. He's down in the pit lane with Marietta Evans.
Danny, such a tight battle today. Talk us through your first stint.
To be honest, we were having some brake issues the first half of that stint. I had to work a lot on the bias. The team was helping me through it on the radio, so very proud of the team, what we accomplished in that stint. Halfway through the stint, we were really, really quick. I was catching the leaders, catching a second per lap, and I would say a couple tenths of the leader. So car was fantastic. Once we got the brakes sorted, we did an awesome strategy. We were a few seconds behind the leaders, and we almost got them now. So, yeah, we're in a good window. You know, it's a long race to go, and I trust my teammate, and yeah, hopefully we can get another win.
Do you have an opportunity? I know it's a very quick change in the pit lane, but do you have any opportunity to say any words of advice to Ryan?
Yeah, I couldn't really, but the track's quite dry. A couple spots has just like wet spots on them. But apart from that, the track is quite dry, so you'll see the times tumbling here at the end of these stints. So yeah, hopefully Ryan gets a great stint and can pass the 30 car for the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Danny Formel talks with knowledge. He has the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 50.35 seconds, and the track is drying out. For a lot of the drivers, though, they're doing only the second stints. They're just getting the feel. We've still got the pit window open for another 2.5 minutes. 1:29 came in from the erstwhile lead of the race, but that's a car with a longer pit stop that's going back out. Car 129, driven solo by Elias de la Tour. But leading the race, a Pro-Am driver at the moment, Mark Miller, and he's got Luke Barkley should be next in line, but Mark Miller 141 leading the way. That is for the Flying Lizard Motorsport team through those tricky turns 11, 12 and 13, trying to stay off the curbs. And Mark Miller sharing with Paul Nemchoff, and the car that was that is Mark Miller coming in now. So Paul Nemchoff about to take it over. He'll probably be about one of the very last cars to make that pit stop. So then we will have the likely front runners, and it'll be Bryson Morris who ought to be coming through, because of course Loris Cabarrou, car 130, built a huge lead, came into the pits, and Bryson Morris, very quick young driver, he takes it over. 125, still one of the last drivers to come into the pits. That's another Andre Lagatisha and Luke Barkley sharing that. It's the Portuguese driver Lagatisha. Racing now, I think, got a British license. He's got a Union flag against his name, but really the car to look for is 130, that when all these pit stops are complete should be in the lead of the race, because certainly Loris Cabarrou got into the front, pulled clear and built an advantage. And just waiting for Bryson Morris to come through. You're going to look out for it, be in car number 130, Answer Motorsports. Whole gang of cars coming through, looking out for 130. Just going through turn 14 now. There we are. Black with the orange flashes on it. That is our race leader. It was our race leader before the pit stops. Through turn 15, left-hand hairpin onto the start-finish straight. And as you see, as he goes down the start straight, he'll pass under. Actually, but we see it. He's just going under this thing that looks like a flying saucer. This enormous building that wasn't there when they opened the circuit, but in recent years, it's been a distinctive feature of the Circuito de Jerez. How patriotic do you want to be with your race livery? Car 110, Graham Doyle, driver who came to racing. He was a sim racer, like a large number of drivers, and COVID was a period where even the pro racers went and raced on sims just to keep themselves sharp. Certainly some fantastic series around the world for that, whether they're aping the racing at the Nürburgring, the Le Mans 24 Hours and things, but that was a big save there from Graham Doyle. But let's go down because Marietta Evans has caught up with Ashton Harrison. Let's hear her thoughts.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be with Ashton, who actually made Super Trofeo history on this very racetrack in 2019. Ashton, how was your first stint?
Well, not ideal conditions, I think, for anybody. Looks like everyone's struggling with the same scenario of not being able to put power down, but, you know, that's what makes us drivers. We have to adapt to the conditions we're given. So the WTR guys have done an incredible job giving us a strong car all week, and we'll carry this on for the rest of the weekend because we still have a lot of racing to go.
What is your, where would you like to finish ideally this weekend? Is there like a position that you think that's my goal for the week?
Yeah, obviously we want to win everything, but at the end of the day, we love being able to just be out here and compete in the AM class like we are, and so a podium would be incredible for us. We're going, as everyone else, for a world title, something I've been trying to get for 5 years, so we always get so close, and so that's the end goal, is to be able to call ourselves World Championship.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, great timing of that interview. We just saw her teammate Graham Doyle bouncing through the gravel, and then it was straight down from Marietta to catch up with Ashton Harrison. But all focus. Here is their car, 110, Lamborghini Palm Beach, and just touching those curves. I mean, all drivers always talk about the grip, Baptiste, but today it's clearly still not 100% grip.
Yeah, of course, the track is improving lap after lap. That's why we can see that the fastest lap of the race is always improving as well. It's important, as I said before, to find the best grip. Where is the best grip on track, and to use that space on the track to maximize the performances of the tires and the car as well.
Right, well, certainly maximising their performances. Bryson Morris, and he's leading the race. He's car 130. Answer Motorsports took over from Loris Cabarrou, and then suddenly 141 has gone for a rotation. It wasn't at the sharp end of the field, but it's not pointing the right way right now. And that's Flying Lizard Motorsport. It's Paul Nemchoff. We saw Mark Miller bring that car in from a decent position, but unfortunately Nemchoff has put it round, stuck it in the gravel. That's one of the Pro-Am cars. Now, where on the circuit is that? Just having a quick look. The pit window is closed and the safety car is out, because that's the thing. Gravel stops cars, but at certain points it leaves them where they're still in a position of danger. Hopefully that can be pulled away as soon as possible. The safety car is already waiting at pit exit, waiting to pick up car 130. Doesn't want to pick up the wrong car, because at the moment Bryson Morris is just up at turn 10. So he's got to wait for about another dozen cars, no, about another 6 or 7 cars to come through. Here is our race leader for Ansa Motorsport. And his margin was 3.6 seconds over Ernie Francis, and Ernie was starting to close in bit by bit. Bear in mind, we heard from his teammate Gianno Torino, but Ernie and Torino are leading the championship, so they will like the safety car. It means instead of being 3.5 seconds down, if they should get onto the tail of the race leader, Bryson Morris. There's Bryson in car 130. And we've got the top 6 cars are all Pro crews, and the safety car waits for the moment to pull out in front of our race leader, Bryson Morris. Ernie Francis will be able to get onto the tail of Morris, and Elias de la Tour, who's done the whole race and also had that extra long pit stop because he's running solo, is in 3rd place. 129, there he is in the sort of goldy yellow car in the background of the shot. There are your first 3 runners. Morris, Francis, de la Tour, and then Ryan Norman in the background. We heard from Danny Formal. Well, his car is suddenly going to be right in the mix. I'm looking forward to this restart. Running 6th is Tico Porto, the car he shares with Nico Jamin, the car that got a bit moved out of the way early on. And then the last car in that top 6, we'll be getting onto the background of that shot, will be Jake Walker, car number 177, also a driver running solo. He's running for 47 Motorsports. There may be a back marker or 2 in the way. We saw that in the restart, the final restart for the Asian Series race, but with the car sitting in the gravel, they got to wait. And it's a long time when you're sitting sideways. Well, let's go down in the pits while all is a little quiet, because Marietta's caught up with Joel Miller.
Joel, guys, you arrived here leading the category. You're leading the race at the moment in your class. How are you feeling?
So far, so good. We did what we needed to at the very beginning. Got out there, clean start with the mixed conditions. It was a little dicey. We could have attacked the pro cars, but that's not what we needed to do today, so we kind of settled in. AJ's doing a good job. Unfortunately, the safety car is not what we needed. We had a nice gap to 2nd, but I have confidence in AJ. It's also potentially starting to rain again, so I think it's going to get crazy in the last 15 minutes. But 47 Motorsports did a great car for us this weekend, and we're looking forward to bringing it home.
How challenging is to be in the box doing the 2nd stint, because you're still in competition? It's your car out there, but there's nothing else you can do, only watch what your teammate is doing. Yeah,
of course. No, sitting here after getting the car there on the lead is a little nerve-wracking, but full confidence in AJ. That's the fun part about the Pro-Am category. Some guys start the Pro, some guys start the Am, and there's the ebb and the flow. We just got to let the race play out. All year, we've been able to bring it home, so full confidence in AJ again. And we're going to try to go get this thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marietta. When he talks of AJ, he's talking about AJ Muss, the former snowboarder, very top-level snowboarder. He's leading the Pro-Am class. He's in 7th place overall, but he's got Andre Lagatisha tucked in behind. He did have a huge margin over him, but he's next in line. In fact, there may be some other cars in between them. Again, I haven't exactly spaced out. We've got 3 cars that are a lap down. One of them's in the gravel, so 2 cars are a lap down who may be in the mix. But certainly for AJ Muss, it's a little frustrating because Andrea Lagatisha should get a whole lot closer behind the safety car. I don't know how long this is going to be. Interesting there, Baptiste, to hear talk of a little rain. I can even see a little bit of blue sky arriving, but who knows? It could have a little twist, but we don't have too much time left.
Exactly. I'm not sure it will rain heavily before the end of the race. At least I hope for them. Otherwise, it can mix much more. If they need to enter the pits to change the tires, then it makes the race even more exciting.
That's one way of looking at it. You're certainly right there. So we go around on another lap behind the safety car. This is first of the 2 races for the Lamborghini Super Trofeo North America, their final round of 2024. 5 races across Sebring, moving through the championship through the year. 2 rounds at each one. Then Laguna Seca was next, then Watkins Glen, Circuit of the Americas, Indianapolis, and here at Jerez. And then, of course, that will be 12 races done across 6 rounds, then we'll know the champions. And for 141, it won't be their day, but their car should be able to be driven away shortly once it's been put down onto the ground by that Manitou lifting device. And again, the gravel has done its job, it stopped the car. But up at turn 5, this is the corner where you're desperate to get a good, clean exit because you've got the longest straight down to turn 6. But equally, also, we've seen quite a few drivers this morning just not having enough grip and just going on up there. But it's all about learning, and I'm sure they'll sort it out. But what we have now is the race-leading car, is the safety car. The lights are still flashing on the roof, so maybe one further lap behind the safety car. But we have the next 6 cars. Morris, Francis, De La Tour, Norman, Porto and Walker, all in the pro class. They will be nose to tail for the restart. Looking there at Nick Persing, who's on board. But let's go down and hear from Slade Stewart, who's down in the pits with Marietta.
Slade, I think I just said to you, it looks like you're rocking the Pro-Am class this year, 2 years after winning a Lamborghini Cup.
You know, we've had our ups and downs this year. It's been a real fight. We've got a great grid of Pro-Am racers. So, you know, we head into round 6, the U.S. finals, sitting in P3. A bit of work to do to hopefully finalize that, but you know, we're happy with where we are.
How is it sharing the car with Andy Lee, who's such an experienced driver and racer?
Andy and I are best friends. He is a fantastic coach, and you know, he's helped me get where I am.
Thank you very much. I'm not paying for the color of your car. I really love the paint.
No. That's not changing.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
So that was Slade Stewart sharing with Andy Lee. Andy is the driver on board at the moment. He's running 5th in the Pro-Am class. And there is their car. And it's, well, Baptiste, your favourite colour. It's pink, and it's got a unicorn on the side. But, you know, North American cars, they do run a lot of cars with sort of cartoon images on them. And certainly it makes extra fans come enjoy a car, because if you're coming to racing for the first time, you want a car you can support. So this one's different.
Yeah, it's always a good way to attract some more views on your car and maybe to give a bit more publicity to your sponsor then.
Yeah, I think so. There's one called Rexy that runs with the dinosaur livery across the World Championship and also in IMSA in the States. Right, 141 is back on the ground. The rescue vehicle is moving away, so Paul Nemtsov will be able to continue in the race. The light's still flashing on the bridge there. SC, that means safety car, but I think now that's out of the way. The message will be going in race control. Yep, when the safety car gets to the end of this lap, we can go racing again. The field is just going behind our commentary position, out of turn 4 up to turn 5, the corner, in fact, where 141, Paul Nemtsov went off. But we'll look for the lights on top of the safety car. Once they go out, Ashton Harrison, they'll be able to watch a bit more racing and see how her teammate is going to get on. And that's Graham Doyle, of whom we speak. Graham is sitting down in 19th position. At the moment, we've got... well, in fact, we've got 23 runners. We lost Sam Shee, we lost Jonathan Hirschberg, but Paul Nemtsov, who's stone last because he spent 3 laps sitting in the gravel, at least we know he's going again. Down the back straight goes the safety car, and the field is sitting behind. That's Kiko Porto. He's starting in 5th place. His next target is going to be Ryan Norman, and it's on the restart that you have your best chance, isn't it?
Exactly. It's really important to try to create a gap with your the car behind you. And by doing this, you give you much more opportunities to finish first, of course.
Exactly, but I'm going to say it again, it's a very narrow circuit here at Jerez, so you're not racing on, you know, a modern style Grand Prix circuit. You're maybe 2 or 3 car widths less across the track. Okay, Paul Nemtsov crosses the start-finish line. He's now 3/4 of a lap behind everyone else, but I would think this time around the safety car will probably come in. I'm waiting for signal that's going to be the case. Paul Nemtsov goes up to turn 2, but Kiko Porto, looking at him, he's coming out of the, you can see the movement of the hands. That was turns 11, 12, 13, sweeping through 14. The lights are off. Here is the safety car. It's going to withdraw, and the restart will have Bryson Morris leading from Ernie Francis and Elias De La Tour. How are they going to control it? Bit of a... Well, someone's made a move from about 4 cars back. I don't think that's supposed to be happening. That's 177. That was... I think that's a misunderstanding there. You can't overtake until the start-finish line, but 177, which is Jake Walker, gained about 3 places. It's very tight. Ernie Francis on the outside, going up to turn 1. Bryson Morris in the black and orange car on the inside holds it off, but it was a challenge and it had to come from Bryson Morris. He could, from Ernie Francis, couldn't make it work. Elias de la Tour's been squeezed out on 104. Going around the outside is Kiko Porto. Well, when you gather 6 cars, put them together, give them a restart. Bryson Morris being very, very good at holding on. The front in behind was contact, and second, third and fourth may be going off the track. No, Ernie Francis stays on, but 104 got caught out. That was Kiko Porto, and Elias de la Tour sitting facing the wrong way, seeing people coming up front. Bryson Morris no trouble, but in behind, second, third, fourth, it was all a compromise. And it's tricky because you have to be committed for turn 4 and, you know, going really at it. But Ernie Francis, very fortunate. He's in the bright orange car. He managed to keep out of the trouble. He could have been right in the mix. And for everyone else behind, it was shaken around. A couple of cars in the gravel. Hopefully he can get going again. But that is really good news for Bryson Morris. You don't want your other drivers to have problems, but it helps. Because what's he got left? Only 7 minutes left to defend that position now. So that should be some good points coming in the bag. And bear in mind, Bryson Morris and his teammate Loris Cabreau came here almost out of the title race, but still with a mathematical possibility. They have to win both races, and they're certainly heading, one would suggest, to a possible maximum 15 points here. But they really need their closest rivals, Ernie Francis and Gianni Torino, who lead the title. Kiko Porto and Nico Jamin, well, they've got a problem because they had to spin. And Danny Formal and Ryan Norman to hit problems. At the moment, one of those crews has. But all Bryson Morris can do is press on now. All Loris Cabreau. We're going to have another safety car period. Well, I'm not surprised. I dare say if we climbed out of a commentary position, we'd see 1 car in the gravel, and it is 104. That's very, very unfortunate, because actually that started for Kiko Porto. He took the restart in 5th or 6th position, the Brazilian driver, and he got up into 2nd position. Then by the time they got to turn 4, and then round it went. So let's take a look at the replay. Bryson Morris in front. On the outside is Ernie Francis, and then there's contact with Elias de la Tour just tucked in behind, but round goes Kiko Porto, and Elias de la Tour has nowhere else to go except the gravel, and he's given a push around as well, and was fortunate not to be collected. And then this is the worst feeling, isn't it? When you're in the gravel, Baptiste, how much throttle do you use?
You lose everything. It's such a bad feeling to finish in the gravel, but I will say that the most unfortunate here on that move will be the Latour car number 129, which was just there and couldn't do anything. He just lost the control by nothing at the end.
But absolutely by nothing, and to be spun around as well. Be pushed wide in the gravel would be one thing, but to be spun as well. So really difficult. So let's just go back through. Bryson Morris actually had built a big lead there. It was all happening just behind him, but only just behind him. It was so tight through the first 3 corners. But then when they had their sort out, Ernie Francis lost a bit of time. That's a fantastic shot. Now, that's the point on the circuit, turn 4. And, well, must be taken almost immediately above our position here. But stuck in the gravel, but only by half a car width. That's the annoying thing from a driver's point of view, but going nowhere. That's why we have a safety car. And I'm wondering, here comes the rescue vehicle. Can that be moved in time for us to have a proper final racing lap? We've got 4 minutes and 30-something seconds remaining. And the marshals want to just make sure they can get that car. Yeah, they're putting the straps on already, and just pull it clear, pull it away from the exit of turn 4, and then hopefully we can go all the way to the finish. Otherwise, Bryson Morris won't complain if it runs behind a safety car, because he's in the lead of the race, and that will put 15 points for victory in their pocket. But for Ernie Francis, 2nd place at the moment won't be too much of a damage, because they came here leading by 12 points in the championship. And then Kiko Porto, Nico Jamin, that's their car in the gravel. And Danny Formal and Ryan Norman, their car is down in 5th place overall, but 4th place in the Pro class. A little distance behind, but for Morris and Cabreau, this could be very good news indeed. 172, right in the mix. Eduardo Liberati, I think one of the only crews all weekend that's racing in 2 championships, racing in the European and the North American Championship. So he and Alberto Clemente Pisani will be getting lots of track time. And Eduardo, has had a huge amount of success in Lamborghini racing across the years, and going back really quite some while. So for the drivers, they're looking to their crews to tell them, clearly this is another lap behind the safety car. hopefully by the time they get round to where this car is stranded, the 104, it will already be moved out of the way as they work their way up to turn 1 behind the safety car. Now the lifting process hopefully will begin, but again, you have to make sure everything is set in the right position for the car to be balanced. Have you ever been in a car when it's picked up like this?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. I've been 1 or 2 times only, but it was 1 or 2 times too much.
Yes, exactly, but a strange feeling. And now Kiko Porto is just trying to keep the wheels straight as they lift it, and but only now is the safety car just going past the position where his car is being raised at the front of the field. So, as things stand, Ernie Francis and Gianno Torino, we heard from Gianno earlier, with the cars in their current positions and really little time for anyone to do overtaking, will win the pro title in this race. And that certainly helped that one of their championship rivals, one of the outside chances, is out of the mix. And again, with the 4 classes across a Super Trofeo race, you have to keep on top of the individual points battles. And we largely focus on the cars at the very front of the field. They're in the pro class. AJ Mas in 4th overall. That's impressive. He gained position in that sort out. He's leading the prime class. The AM class is being led by Dominic Starkweather, who drives all on his own. Oh dear, this lift is not going quite how they wanted. And the Lamborghini Cup class is being led by the only driver actually continuing in that class, which is Nick Grote, car number 157. So it's, oh, not just, okay, not a problem with the lift. It was a problem getting the straps back off. That's out of the way. Lots of gravel ready to meet anybody who runs wide on the exit of turn 4, which is the fastest line. And hopefully we will just have time. We've got 1 minute 20 left on the clock, and the safety car is turning into turns 11, 12 and 13. Hopefully when we get a sight of that, as the 104 gets going again for Kiko Porto, the light should be out on the roof of the safety car, because we do want this race to end. No, they're still flashing, so it looks as though this race... Well, let's wait and see any messages from race control, but he's pressing on. So the field is Bryson Morris, Ernie Francis Jr. Does he know he's got the title in the bag? And Jake Walker, he's in 177 in 3rd place overall. Still the SC lights flash around the circuit. And I sort of get the feeling, Baptiste, you get the feeling this race is going to end under safety car.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was hoping and praying we get that 1 lap sort out, but maybe, I was saying it's good news for Bryson Morris leading the race, but for Ernie Francis in 2nd place, if that means the title is won, the title is won. 2nd place is enough for them to take the pro title, but let's wait and look. So again, you get a moment that's not a big moment, but when a car gets stuck in the gravel and it's only 15 minutes to go, it's always difficult. But this driver here, 188, Ernie Francis, I'm sure the message will be sent through to him. Don't do the maths. We can tell you if it finishes like this, which it ought to, you ought to be the North American Super Trofeo champion in the pro class for 2024. It's been quite a season for them, the 188 crew. For TR3, for the team, TR3 Racing, and they picked up 1, 2, 3 wins so far. A win in the 2nd race at Sebring, a win in the first of the 2 races at Circuit of the Americas in Texas, and a win in the 2nd of the 2 races last time out, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So for the crew in the bright orange car, it's been an absolutely mighty season for them. There's AJ Mas, who's leading the Pro-Am class in car number 166 in 4th overall. There's Jake Walker, 3rd. Still quite interested in his restart. He was the driver who burst out of position between turns 14 and 15 when the safety car was just pulling in. I'm not sure, maybe there's a different rule that I don't know about. But our first 2, Bryson Morris taking over from where Loris Cabarrou got going in this race and gave an advantage. Loris's advantage was cut back by a safety car period, and then in turn Bryson Morris, his advantage was cut back, but he'd only just taken the lead. And as they come to the very end, the lights are still flashing, but here are our first 2, and the rest seem to have retired, pulled out of the shot. But here we are, Bryson Morris, Ernie Francis Jr., just waiting to look for the checkered flag as they come around behind the safety car. Lights flashing in celebration from our race winner, Bryson Morris, and tucked in behind is Ernie Francis Jr., and that is enough for him to win the title. Jake Walker coming home in 3rd overall. AJ Mas winning the Pro-Am class in 4th. Second in Pro-Am is Nate Stacey Persing and Andre Lagatisha, car 125, third in Pro-Am. Am is won by Dominic Starkweather. Cole Kleck, second in class in 128, and David Starb takes third place in that class in car number 148. And the only finisher in the Lamborghini Cup class is Nick Grote in 21st position overall. We sent out 25 cars to race, and at the very end, with Kiko Porto also put down on the track, much as Paul Nemtsov had been before him. 23 of them came home. That's the first of 2 races at this, the final round of the 2024 Super Trofeo North America. And drivers have a few stories to tell, but for Bryson Morris, here he has coming in, building on the fantastic work of Loris Cabru, winner of race 1 of the North American Series races, here at the championship finale at the Circuito de Jerez. And it was a very tense couple of start of the race and restart, but they came through, and that certainly boosted their championship hopes. But they have been dashed by the car behind, because the crew of Gianno Torino, who's in the pits, and Ernie Francis, who's brought it home. The title is theirs, the North American Pro title for 2024. So hats off to the crew. Second place today was enough. And again, a colour I very much like. It stands out whether it's light, it's dark, it's daylight, it's night. The bright orange really, really works. Looks fantastic on the flanks of the Super Trofeo. But walk up and down the paddock, there's every colour. And for 47 Motorsports, Jake Walker coming home, drove solo. And really, really tidy job today here at Jerez. So the drivers will be coming back into the pit lane fairly soon. They're still behind the safety car, of course, so it's not quite as fast as the normal, but just coming out of the penultimate corner, then they will peel into the pit lane, and those that haven't gone to championship top 3 positions in their classes, they will go into the paddock behind. Packed paddock, 83 cars across the 3 championships here this weekend, all with an eye on their championships, and of course a tilt at the World Finals. 2 races in each of the classes for those. So down the pit lane they come. ANSA Motorsport, they have the bragging rights this afternoon, lunchtime here in Jerez de la Frontera, or just outside the capital of the sherry trade here in southwest Spain. And just as happy, I would suggest, with second place as the race winners of this year's champions in the bright orange 188. But Loris Cabru, French racer, comes out, and Bryson Morris is about to spring out of their car, because victory today. A job very well done for the crew from ANSA Motorsports. Car 130. Is he happy? Yes, he's happy. And all the other class top 3s coming in behind. They've got their podium ceremonies to follow. Tricky conditions though, Baptiste. Dampish still when they started, but definitely dry weather tyres. But still, if you went offline, the grip was not as good as a warm summer day.
Exactly, they managed to bring the win home, let's say. Yeah, they could do what they had to do at the right moment, put the wheels where they had to put it, so really nice.
Good job. Well, let's go down to the driver who's just come in as winner of this race. Marietta has Bryson Morris.
Yeah, I'm with the winners in Pro. The winners overall, Bryson, first of all, well done on taking the car to the finish line in P1.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was a tricky race for sure, and definitely at the end with the late restart. And on the safety car, it started raining a bit more, so I was a bit cautious, and yeah, I got caught off a bit with the green flag, but we were able to keep the lead on the restart and bring it home for the win.
And Loris, another win after you guys already took a win last time out in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I am very happy. We did a mega job with the team yesterday during practice. And very good job to Bryson. I am very happy.
Congratulations. Superb effort. Well done.
Thank you, Marietta. So there are winners. We know the championship winners got it nailed with 1 race to go. We're just in behind in second place. I talk of Gianno Torino and Ernie Francis Jr. But there we have an amazing array of cars down below the podium. The first of 2 North American Super Trofeo races. At this, the final race, final round of 2024. We've got it all to do again tomorrow. Then Saturday and Sunday is the World Finals here at Jerez. But that was busy. The safety car had to cup out. We had a really exciting restart. But let's go to this year's champions in the 2024 Super Trofeo, the Pro class. Let's go down to Gianno and Ernie with Marietta.
Looks like all of us were doing the maths, because it looks like you guys have this in the pocket.
Yeah, we hope so. We don't know yet. Just trying to run our race, and then wherever the chips lay is where they lay. Just can't thank my teammate enough. Had an awesome drive over there, getting from 4th to 2nd. And people were driving pretty dirty out there. Just had to run our race, put our elbows out, and you know what it is. Karma, it bites sometimes. So it is what it is. But can't thank everybody from TR3, Lamborghini Miami, Capriccio Exhaust, Bitlux, HCB Yachts. Everybody's put in a lot of work this year, heart and soul into this year, and if we are the champions, then it's been a great season so far. So but you can't do it without this guy and the Lord above, man. It's been a great season.
Jenna, what an amazing season, because you guys have been fighting against people like Danny Formal 2 times in Super Trofeo North America, and you have managed to stay in P1.
Yeah, me and Danny have a long history together, so we've always, grew up racing against each other. But again, today was a good day for us in the championship. We extended our points. It was a crazy race, especially with how the layout of the track was, with how slippery it was. But I believe this is a championship good. So I want to thank Capriccio Exhaust, Lamborghini Miami, TR3 Racing, Bitlux, and HCB Yachts, because, again, we've put so much effort into this year, so much, late nights, just with the team and everything. Everybody, I believe we wanted this with our hearts, and we're getting one step closer to that. So we still have one more to go tomorrow. We'll keep our eyes up, keep our faith up. I know God makes a way through everything, and you can definitely see that. And I pray that everybody can see as a testimony how good God is and how faithful he is, because he always pulls through. Just want to thank him.
Whatever the numbers say, you guys have done an amazing job this year. Well done.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Marietta. It's still like they don't quite believe it as yet, but anyhow, what a job. And certainly that final restart was very, very tight indeed. And we lost one of those cars going around for Kiko Porto, but for Bryson Morris just staying in front. But for Ernie Francis, it was a near miss. But he came through into that 2nd place overall, enough to nail that championship with one of the 12 races still to run. So that just emphasises what a great job it was for them. So smiles pretty much for all the drivers down there, because that means they and their crews have got drivers in the top 3 in each of the 4 categories at the penultimate race of the 2024 North American Super Trofeo. So they get to do it all over again tomorrow. The weather gods look much kinder for Friday, Saturday and Sunday here at Jerez. Okay, well, let us go on down. Still interviews coming our way. Let's go with Marietta again.
Thank you.
And I think somebody else who has reasons to celebrate is Nick Groth.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a crazy race with all the rain and on slicks. First time, actually, I'm from the desert, so it was my first time driving in anything damp, and that was quite an experience, just trying to keep it alive out there.
If my numbers are correct, you already clinched the title in Lamborghini Cup?
I believe so. We'll have to, for me, it's not official till tomorrow, but yeah, feels pretty good, especially for first year doing any level of racing like this.
Congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's Nick Groth, who has taken, I think as well, on the maths victory in the Lamborghini Club class across the championship. The fact he's done it in his first season. And when you look at the cars, you know the names of all the drivers in the Pro class, Pro-Am, you've got that mixture, then you've got the Am class. But the Lamborghini Club, the 4th class in this, but the smiles are just as big in that. And for Nick to come over to somewhere to race in the rain, to race in Europe, that's what it's all about, gaining experience within the Lamborghini family. So no wonder he's so happy there. So let's take a look at the overall results. Loris Cabru led out, Bryson Morris brought it home. In the end, finishing behind the safety car, but only just, with Gianno Torino handing over to Ernie Francis, who chased them home. And really, really tight at the finish. Jake Walker raced all on his own for 47 Motorsports, come home in 3rd overall, just ahead of AJ Muss, who brought it home in the 166 crew to win the Pro-Am class. We had 25 cars start. We had 23 finish. A few scrapes along the way. You have to feel for Elias Totoro. There he is down in 19th position. He was running in about 4th position when the lead group spun in front of him, and that really delayed him. But he certainly showed good form. There we are, 21st overall. He may have been, but LC Cup winner. We just heard from him, Nick Groth. So he's a driver with a smile, and we think now a title in his pocket. Now, well, there we are. That was the North American Championship, and those were the results. The weather is improving here at the Circuito de Jerez. And here are the highlights. So now just waiting for the podium ceremonies to commence. 4 podium ceremonies, of course, the Pro class, the Pro-Am class, the Am, and at the end, the Lamborghini Cup class. But that was a hard-fought race, 50 minutes packed with action, the first of 2 races for Super Trofeo North America. And we wait for the first trio of drivers, or sets of drivers, to come out on the podium any second now. And that was a hard-fought race, but you have to say Answer Motorsport with their number 130 crew of Loris Cabarrou, who did a fantastic opening stint. In fact, his advantage got pegged back by a safety car to a large extent, but Bryson Morris got in and was unflappable. So a really good job, and that sealed victory for them. The race did end up finishing behind the safety car. I reckon another couple of minutes. If the race had been a couple of minutes longer, we might have had a final full green racing lap, but nothing detracts from the crew that took victory, because they did a fantastic job. And that's Bryson Morris and his teammate, the French racer Loris Cabarrou. So just waiting. They're not shy. They're just waiting for the signal. And Loris Cabarrou will come out. There we are. Caps on. Thank you. Caps for all the drivers there. Handshakes, all just getting the right procedure before they go out. The pros will come out first. It just shows how many people get up onto the podium across the 4 classes. And it's thumbs up. There's Luke Barkley, very happy with life in the middle of the shot there. And everyone else with a story to tell. Where did you nearly go off? Because though the track was pretty dry when they started, it probably was dry. Anything just beyond the racing line, like the curbs, was certainly still very slippery from overnight rain. And the World Finals, which happen on Saturday and Sunday, they were last here 5 years ago. And some of these North American races may have been here for that, but the ones with fewer years in the championship, it's been a voyage of discovery this weekend, and every moment they're out on the track, they're gaining track time, great gaining experience, and let's see how that benefits them as they go into the next day, which is the final round of the North American Championship, and then the days of the weekend, it's the World Finals. But you've got to be very technical here to make the overtaking. Nick Grote just enjoying life in the middle of the screen. I'm a man from the desert, he said. I don't race on wet tracks. Well, he did today, and it's all about putting that experience in the bank. Just waiting for the podium ceremony to commence. It's always a while to corral drivers and get them in position. Check who's going to... Well, it looks like if Nick Grote's walking up, means he thinks he's going on the podium first. Maybe just super keen. Out he comes. So the Lamborghini Cup podium going up onto the top step. And in fact, with Jonathan Hirschberg not getting to finish the race, he's the only person there. Well, when you put a title in your pocket, you get the podium to yourself. Not always, but you might as well seize that moment. So there's Nick Grote. One Motorsports around him, and so team representative up there as well. All smiles. It's all about winning. It's also about travelling the world and racing and making friends. And certainly for the Super Trofeo series, very much a family. So a lot of enjoyment to be had. They'll be meeting the European and Asian series runners this weekend as well. And there's René Sweltsner with his full title underneath, coming out to present the trophy. Nick Grote may be short in terms of years of racing, but I think he might as well start building himself a trophy cabinet at home.
Another photo for guys racing down there. I think you've got to hold your trophy nice and high.
And when you're new to racing, there's a whole protocol, but the moment you hold up your trophy to the photographers, and then you know you can spray champagne, but there's only one person to spray it at there. See if Nick keeps his title-winning champagne or just lets rip. Well, the answer is the latter, and why not? Seize the moment, enjoy the day, and make the spray. Gets it going after a couple of attempts there, but well done there to Nick Grote, winning the Lamborghini Cup class and the title to go with it.
Now we are going to...
So here we are, getting a sight of his car number 147 from One Motorsports. Or 157 even, if you can do the maths. There we are, championship winner, race winner in the Lamborghini Cup class. And in the end, there we are, you need to be... There was only 16 points remaining in the championship, and there he is with a 29-point advantage. So Rodrigo Valles, who wasn't here, and Jonathan Hirschberg, who was but didn't score points today, no chance of them overhauling him. So Nick Grote, champion for 2024 in the Lamborghini Cup class. Now we've got the AM podium, and out they come in third place in class, car number 148, which is David Starb from Precision Performance Motorsport. Second place in class is car number 128, Cole Kleck, coming on board this weekend to race with Augusto Soto Chiripa. And on the top step, all on his own, Dominic Starkweather.
From Precision Performance Motorsport, an old face to Lamborghini stand.
So two crews there, Dominic Starkweather and David Starr, both from Precision Performance Motorsports. So it's a good podium for them.
Thank you very much, Eric. And to present the Hankook Trophy, Jakob again, here is...
So again, waiting for their trophies to come out for the teams as well as for the drivers. And then they'll, of course, all assemble on the top step. And it's Dominic Starkweather who's standing in the middle. And it was a good run for him, 8th overall to win the AM class. Cole Kleck came home second in class in car 128 in 11th, and car 148, David Starb, in just one position behind in 12th place overall. Trophies high for the AM finishers there, the AM top three. Dominic Starkweather, driver from Arizona, on the middle of the top step as the class winner. And indeed, that possibly says it all for all of them. Yes, baby, being shouted up from below. And finally, eventually, the sprayers are coming and they may get a chance. Will these be the top three tomorrow? Well, we'll have to wait and see, because Friday is the second day of the final round of the North American Super Trofeo for 2024 here at Jerez in southwest Spain. East side of the country's been strafed with rain, a tiny bit here last night, but the rest of the next 3 days of action here, as the wind picks up a little bit, should be in the sunshine. And victory in the end to Dominic Starkweather, car 147. But the championship title is not his yet. He's 8 points down on Glenn McGee and Anthony McIntosh. And will be looking to try and overhaul them. Nobody else can get in the mix. So drivers already coming out for the Pro-Am ceremony. Crew in third place overall, car number 125. And that was Andre Lagatisha, sharing this weekend with Luke Barkley, second place, including sunglasses. That's quite optimistic today. Second place crew, car number 108 from Wayne Taylor Racing, Nate Stacey and Nicholas Persing, and up onto the top step, AJ Muss, sharing car number 166 for 47 Motorsports with Joel Miller up on the top step. Drivers all very pleased, and the winning crew in the Prime class, 4th place overall. The second place crew, the crew closest to us, 6th, and the 125 crew, 3rd in class, in 7th place overall. There over on the right-hand side of the podium. But up on the top step, AJ Muss and his teammate Joel Miller. Joel on the left of the top step, and now everybody else crowds in. Closer, closer, up onto the top step. All drivers wearing black and white suits, up onto the top step. There we are. So the Super Trofeo family smiles out. One more race for the North American Championship to come, and will we get a Pro-Am driver, Pro-Am crew up in the top 3 overall? Let's wait and see. May happen tomorrow, it may not. We've got some very, very good pro crews. A couple of them got tripped up here on the final restart. The race ended behind a safety car, but 4th overall, AJ Muss does not muck around. He gets it flying soonest on the top step, and the former snowboarder clearly learnt his skills very well. Enjoying life, 4th overall with his teammate Joel Miller, and winning the Pro-Am class. And there is the car, looking fantastic in that sort of not normal racing colour, but I really rather like it, the sort of khaki green on the flanks, the olive colours. But for Muller and Muss, they're 10 points clear. The title is nearly in the bag, but the crew that finished second today, Persing and Stacey, keeping them honest. But it's going to be quite a mountain for them to gain 11 points required to overhaul the Muller and Muss train towards the title. We'll find out. And many a slip between cup and lip. And as I say, a little bit of rain starts to fall here, so it is still falling in this part of Spain. And now, waiting for that final podium, the top podium, the top 3 finishers. There's one, all on his lonesome, all on his own-some. Jake Walker for 47 Motorsports, car number 177, 3rd overall. Then out walks Ernie Francis, Gianno Torino leading the title battle, and we think the maths mean they've taken the title too. Good to see the handshakes going with it. But today, Bryson Morris followed out with Loris Cabarrou as well. Cabarrou coming out first, the shorter figure, the French driver. They took victory today. It was behind the safety car at the end, but they'd done the hard yards, certainly in the first part of the race. Truly deserving of victory here at Jerez.
You again.
Yeah, you know.
I know you.
So all smiles up there, and the ribald comment, "Oh, you again." So clearly frequently being up on this podium. That's what you need. It's not just wins, it's finishing consistently on the podium. That's what takes titles, and the feeling is the maths should be there, that the Gianno Torino, the taller figure, Ernie Francis Jr. next to him, should be the pro winners of the championship for the North American Series, with one race still to run. But certainly for Bryson Morris and Loris Cabarrou, taking the victory today will propel them up the rankings, but not to the top. They've left their charge just that little bit too late. The weather is supposed to improve tomorrow. Maybe it'll be a fully dry track and a fully dry set of curbs that greet the drivers. It was certainly tricky for them today. But here's the podium. Loris Cabarrou, Bryson Morris on the top set. Gianno Torino and Ernie Francis on the left-hand side in second place. And all on his own in third place overall, Jake Walker. So here is the car that took victory. Loris Cabarrou went away as though everything was going his way in the first part of the race. Safety car hauled him back, but then another safety car, and at the end it was brought home. But actually for Morris and Cabarrou, that victory still leads them down in fourth overall. They've closed the margin, but Ernie Francis and Gianno Torino's second place was just enough to make they've got everything in the bag for 2024. So that's goodbye from me for now. That's goodbye from Bridge Jones. Let's take a look at the highlights, and we'll see you again tomorrow.